So again, welcome to workshop 13. What we're going to be covering is our workshop agenda. We're going to have native SOAR. The guest speakers, again, do another great presentation as they've done the past few weeks of our program. We'll summarize our last meeting, do a project check-in, a few announcements, and then we'll address any questions at the end. This is a reminder of our community norms. Remember to keep focused on a common goal, strive to understand multiple perspectives, be willing to be disturbed and change your mind, critique ideas and concepts, not people, share the space, stay engaged in the work, and respect each other's time. Recognize when each of us needs space for emotions for a pause to process, accept non-closure, apologize and work to repair damage if you violate a norm. And without further ado, I would like to reintroduce our native SOAR team. I'll stop sharing so you all can share your project, or not project, your presentation.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us back. And today we're going to be going off of career building as a college student. My name is Cadence Palmer, and I am currently a sophomore majoring in biosystems engineering and minoring in American Indian Studies.
Hi, I'm Amaya. I'm a freshman here at U of A, majoring in molecular and cellular biology with a minor in American Indian Studies, and I'm from the Navajo Nation.
Hi, I'm Nashayla. I'm a freshman. I'm currently undeclared, and I'm from Kachan tribe.
Hi, my name's Cadence Sinigine. I am a second year here, majoring in veterinary science, and my tribal affiliation is Navajo Nation.
Today we'll be going over intro to careers and then we'll transition into building a professional profile. From there, we're going to teach you guys how to create a resume through a mini resume workshop. And then finally, we're going to kick it off with kicking off your career. And yeah.
Okay, for our icebreaker today, we decided to do Jeopardy. So there's going to be no teams. So you're going to have to try and keep points of your own score. So does anyone want to go first? Unmute or just type me in the group in the chat. Good point, Maria. We will keep score in the chat.
Anyone want to raise their hand or go first? Austin's
We
hands
got
up.
Austin.
Awesome. Okay, Austin, which one do you want to do? We have four different categories. There's career/jobs, music, movies, and college.
I'll take 200 for college.
200 college. And the question is, do community college provide on-campus housing?
Some do. I know that my sister, she had on-campus housing, but others do not.
Yes, typically no, but there are cases where there are community colleges that do offer on-campus housing. Good job, Austin. You earned 200. And you can go again to pick your next one. Or would anyone else like to go?
Kalila
Okay,
says movies 200.
okay, Kalila, we'll do the movies 200.
It's Kylila.
Kylila, my bad. But the question is, this movie was made entirely by Native Americans and is the best movie for us natives. What is it?
Oh Lord, I'm not sure.
Would you want to take a wild guess?
Um, no, I don't really know these kinds of movies. Sorry.
That's okay. Would anyone else want to try and figure out what this movie is? No, it's not Resball, but that's a good choice. I see Austin has his hand raised.
What's your guess, Austin?
I'm guessing smoke signals.
Yes, it is Smoke Signals. Good job, Austin. You have now 400. Oh, thank you, Maria. Who would want to go next for one of our four categories? You can raise your hand, unmute, or put in the chat which one you want to try. Oh, we got two. Let's go with Brandon, since he was the first one to say I'll go. So which one do you want to do? Which out of the four categories? Music 300. This artist recently did the Super Bowl halftime show. Who was it? Yes, it was Bad Bunny. My personal opinion, I love that. Okay, now let's do, okay, yes, for Aiden. When a job wants to ask you questions about yourself, what is it called? Yes, it is an interview. Good job. Anyone want to take a shot? Aiden says careers 300. What is the document you use to give previous work experience, education, and skills? A resume. Yes, it is a resume. You have added on 300. And then Billy said music for 400. And the question is, finish your lyric. I've been touring State Line, kissing my Swedish boy over FaceTime. Who knew opening up would make me a headline? What's the next verse? You don't know? Oh no. Does anyone want to take the steal? Anyone want to snatch 400 points? That is not the right one, Austin, but I give you an A for effort for coming in. The line was boots. That's my ego boost. It's the fairly new song by Zara Larsson and Pink Panthers that's called State Line. Who wants to try out? Maybe we can go for two more. Aiden says career 400. What job creates apps and codes software? Software engineer. That's actually pretty close. I, should I give it to you? Same difference. It is software developer. And let's do one more. Does anyone want to try who's in the lead is Aiden. Does he want to keep it going, or are we gonna let someone else try and beat his spot? Austin, which one would you choose?
I choose movies 400.
Movies 400. What the movie Cars was released in what year?
2007.
Ooh, you're one off. You're one off. You're two off. Dev. 2006. Yes. And that's all we had time for our Jeopardy. And it looks like the one who won was Aiden with 1,300 points. And then second we had Austin, and then third we had Brandon. Good job, you three.
Okay, so now we're going to be switching gears and talking about what is a career and building a career as a college student. So, a career isn't just one job, it's something you build over time. It's based on your interest, your skills, and what you actually enjoy doing. And the biggest thing is it's not permanent, it could change as you grow and try new things. As a college student, you don't need to have everything figured out right now. This is the perfect time to explore and start building experience. At the University of Arizona, there are a lot of ways to start. You could use Handshake to find jobs and internships, go to career fairs, and visit the Career Center and the Life Lab building for help with resumes or advice. You could also go to the employee info sessions, talk to recruiters, and join clubs or programs. All these things help you figure out what you like to start building and help you start building connections early. And for my next slide, why career planning in college matters. So first, it helps you figure out what you're actually good at, you get to try new things, find your strengths, and learn what you enjoy. Second, it helps you make smarter decisions like choosing the right classes or picking a major or a minor that actually fits you instead of just guessing. And lastly, it helps you build your future step by step. You don't need to have everything figured out, like I said, but setting small goals, gaining experience, and preparing early makes life after college way less stressful.
So now we're gonna go into steps to a strong, successful resume. So whenever you're starting to plan your resume, you're gonna want to plan it for the future with confidence. So by that, you're gonna first start off by identifying your strengths. So basically think about what you're good at, such as school, sports, or helping. And then step two, you're gonna turn your life into experience. So school activities, volunteering, and responsibilities such as like soccer, football, cross country, you could list those as well. And then you can also list like volunteering, such as times when you were able to help through. Um, you can also, for me, I like to list helping out with traditional events, such as helping during traditional ceremonies, which people love to look out for as well. And there's also responsibilities. So if you have a job, like a part-time job, you could also list that as well because that's also experience. Um, and then step number three, you're gonna want to set realistic goals. So you're gonna start small and build over time through building out your resume, such as jobs, college, and internships. You could start by applying to small jobs, even if it has nothing to do with like your major of interest. It's at least a resume starter because it shows you're starting to build skills such as talking. And also, if you're good with like working with cash, that's also a good skill to list. Um, for college, that's like coming into college, you have opportunities to join different clubs at the beginning. So like you can join different clubs and also list that on your resume. For example, me, I'm like part of ACES, so like I list as part of my resume as well because I've been part of it since high school. And also for internships, you can basically apply for internships. Like right now, you could basically list like NASEP as one of your main goals for like your resume, which helps build onto it. And then also, for step number four, you're gonna want to make a plan. So continue to update your resume as you like go out throughout the years, updating it. Because also like many others, I also struggle with that because I have like a resume that I also have to update and I keep doing stuff like even classes count like for building your resume as well. It like does count towards your degree. So that's a good hint as well that will help you out. And then you're going to want to ask for help from your teachers, counselors, and mentors. So, right now, I would suggest talking to your teachers and building that connection, even just in high school. You can start that right now and also put them in your resume for references. And if you list them as a reference, then basically the person that's trying to hire you or like see if you're good for the internship or like the program, they'll like call the reference and like see if you're a good fit and they'll like put in a good word for you. So get close to your teachers right now. And also, yeah, I still have a good connection with my high school teachers and they still like write letters of recommendations for me. So that works out perfectly. And yeah, so plus it works out for me good because like I do things kind of last minute, so they kind of know me well. And yeah, don't do that. Don't do anything last minute. Yeah. Next slide. So, whenever you're going to build your resume, you're going to want to include your name and your contact info. And you're also going to want to include your education, such as your school and your GPA if it's strong. So, for my resume, for example, I have my high school listed and I have my high school GPA. And I also have my college listed and my college GPA as well. But you don't really need to have your high school whenever you get into like college in your sophomore year. It's just to be a resume builder as time goes on. And then activities and leadership. So basically, any clubs you're part of, like if you're like president for it or secretary, you're gonna want to list that, such as being part of like National Honor Society or even Art Society, or like just any club in general that you're part of that works as well. And like activities, I know for me, I ran cross country in high school, and I list that because I felt like the sport was very mentally challenging, and I was able to like still like be showing good sportsmanship. So I felt like that was a good thing to put in my resume to show me as a person. Um, and then you're also gonna want to list your volunteer experience skills. So like tech communication, etc. Like basically you're just gonna want to list like as I said, if you do work for like ceremonial events, you could list that and how you help out. Like, oh, I help like some elders make some fry bread for like the community gathering. That shows that you care about like your community, and that you value like your elders. So people really love to look for that in your resume because it's basically showing who you are as a person. And then awards, if you have any, like you could put AB honor roll student or even like superintendent award and just any other awards as well. Like if you're part of robotics or if you're part of sports as well, just list those as well. Next slide. And then to make it stand out, um, we're gonna want to use action words instead of like simple words. So you're gonna put led or organized or help or created instead of like saying like I was there. You're just gonna want to like make it more standing out. So use those words as well. And you're gonna want to be specific. So like you're gonna want to put numbers such as the year and the date. Like really, I know for me, I couldn't really memorize the exact date it was, so I would try to get an estimate of the time by like referencing the day I took the photos and stuff like that. So that helps me out a lot too. And then another major thing that you're gonna want to do is keep it one page. I learned that like once I got into college because in high school I started building my resume pretty fast because I also listed my dual credit majors or my dual credit classes as well. So that kind of packed my resume to the point where I made it a 2 page and I need to work on making it a 1 page. So make sure you make it 1 page because people like to just scan it over really quickly. And then you're gonna want to have no spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes, so make sure to look over it and also double check it. Another thing I would recommend is possibly talking to like your English teacher because they're gonna be the best resource you have. I know my English teacher made me like start creating my resume, so she was like a great help at proofreading it for me. And then I also list some don'ts and do's. So you're gonna want to use personal pronouns, and then you're gonna want to use a narrative style and include age or gender. So actually, don't do that. Don't list references. Don't include age or gender, and do not include pictures because pictures will take up the whole page, and you really don't want to do that. So keep it just words. And then for dues, you're going to want to make sure it's a consistent format and it contains content that's easy to read over. And make sure actually you're being translucent. So like to the point where you're being honest in your like resume in a way and also just showing who you are as a person. And also on the right side, you can see that there's two different types of ways to create a resume. There's a way you can put it in bullet point format, so that's much a shorter way. And then there's also a paragraph format where you can like basically type short paragraphs about the experience and what you learned from it and what you did. And Cadence also included the links below. So like they're templates that are from like the Harvard online website, and I know that's a good like thing to use because it's Harvard, so it's a free resource, so utilize it, guys. You can like download it yourselves and you can like put your own name because it has all the info where you can like replace it, so you guys can start working on that right now and it will be so great to have as you go into college. And yeah, and continue to build onto it.
Okay, next we're going to talk about tips on setting up a professional profile. So while you're going to transition into college, you're going to want to present yourself in the best way possible. So here are three ways that we decided to do tips on, which one was LinkedIn. We're going to talk about how to use it, why it's important, and maybe considering starting an account now so you could have it as you're going into college. And then two, we're going to learn about digital footprint and understanding what it is and how to better use it for ourselves as a professional standpoint. And then lastly, we're going to try and do our professional emails because it's always good to have like your own kind of like signature at the end of emails. So whoever you're emailing and anything like to organizations or superiors that you're looking into going to a job where they can see everything about you in your small little bio part in your email. And so as we move into the next slide, here we're going to talk about LinkedIn. And what it is a networking online program where you can find jobs, internships, and learn skills you need to succeed in like your chosen field or whatever you want to look into going into the future. And the reason and like how and why we use it is just so you can get more connected, you can strengthen relationships with like professionals and companions around the world because there are many people that use it nationwide. So it's like good to have it on hand so you can have and look up stuff that you want to see on the app or even on the website that's on the computer. And the importance is just like, as I said, reaching out, getting connected with professionals to have like a more help in your future career, just to see if to ask questions and get more personal experience with them, asking them questions. It's just like it's just a good resource to have. So then the step to like getting started like with an account, it's best like to download the app or visit the LinkedIn.com website to create a profile. You're gonna want to put in like all like kind of like what would you put like in your resume, kind of like your education, your work skills, your contact info, all that onto like your profile. And then one thing you want to make sure that your notifications are on so you can get all the updates and like everything that like gets added on or like anything that's like an interest of your field because like you can explore the tabs more and you can go to like there's a tab called my network and there's one called jobs and from like all like the education everything you put into your profile it'll like kind of match you up with like what they kind of like see that you're interested in. And so I think that's like really nice to have. I have LinkedIn. It's treating me good so far. I like getting like all the little updates about vets and animals and everything. So it's nice. It's really good. And yeah, the next thing is just like being active, post content and participate in like conversations, like because sometimes people can reach out because there's like a messaging feature on there that can be like, hey, are you interested in a position or whatever they reach out to you for. And it's just like that's just to like communicate and see, even if it's not, maybe just be like, no, but I am looking into this part or like this kind of version of a career. What do you suggest on doing? It's just always best to have that conversation with whoever you can find. And it's just with LinkedIn, there's also like, since it is on network and like social media and everything, there is the potential of the digital footprint, which in the next slide, as we move into it further, the definition of like a digital footprint, I feel like I know for me in elementary, when I had my computer class, there was like that topic about digital footprint and like be careful what you do when you're on the computer looking up stuff. And when you learn about it, it is a bit more complicated than what you think because like the definition of like the digital footprint is like it's the trail you leave behind when you are on the internet or digital devices. It traces like your activity on websites you visit, online purchases, social media posts, comments and everything, etc. So I know it sounds like you're being spied on and it is a bit scary, but it's good to understand digital footprint and why it's important and how to use it. So like as mentioned, knowing the knowledge is scary, but you can benefit from it. So when you are using the internet, remember what you do leads back to you. So in other words, present yourself the best possible way on social media, platforms, and websites that have your information because people can see it. So like if you're going to your interview or like uh or an organization is looking at you and like they like maybe like do like some sort of like digging in a way and then they find out this happened in the past or like you did this. It's best to show off your best self than seeing something that maybe a mistake happened down the road and they see and they're like, what is that? And they probably would bring it up later. So it's always best just maybe just starting now, understanding digital footprint and knowing what you do leads always back to you. And doing that digital footprint, one thing that is digital, your professional emails, your signatures. So I know there are two different like emails that like are mainly used, which is Outlook and Gmail. So I put both of them on here with how you would do it. You would go to their settings, which is like the gear in the top right corner. And for Outlook, you would go when you push on that gear, there is a side on the left side, it says account. You're going to push on that. And when you push on account, you will see that there is a spot that does say signature. And you're going to want to push add signature. And that's when it'll open up like a text box that you would have, and you just put in what you would put. And then for Gmail, you click on the gear in the top right. And I know for my computer, I don't have like all the settings listed, so it's best to put see all settings, go to that general tab and scroll down because it is a little ways down. You scroll down the settings on general tab and you see signature and you're gonna push create new. And what would you want to put on your signature is like your full name, it would be your job title if you have one. And then like the company that you have said job title with or the school you are attending. And then after that, you would put your phone number and your email address, which is easier to access instead of them trying to kind of look it up and everything, especially just to have it right there. They can highlight it or just like keep it as reference if they want to look at your signature more. And then links for websites or portfolio of your work, meaning like you have like stuff in the past or like there's like I know for our professors, they have like their own little like bio link. So they have that right there. You open it and it has like their name and profession and like all like their background history. You don't have to include it, even like if you don't have one, that's still okay. It's still just best to have like your full name, school, and then your number and email address. And tip is just to always keep it as simple as possible. Keep it mobile friendly. So if like you're emailing someone and they check it on their phone, it's just easier for them to scroll down and just see like maybe just that little patch at the bottom instead of it being like a long paragraph of it and like trying not to have so much colors or fonts when you're creating it. So it's just best to keep it short and sweet, get your word out there, present yourself with all your little contact stuff, and it'll work out good in your signature.
Okay, now with that, all of that information, you may be wondering how and where can I start gaining experience, getting jobs, getting internships. So I recommend just like they said, finding your interests, find out what your passions are and what careers you think you may want to go into. So for my recommendation, I would say you could make a list of anything that you're potentially interested in for the future. You could take a career quiz, or talk to a parent, a counselor, teacher, or relative. They're really helpful in helping narrow down your options, figuring out like maybe I will do want to go into this industry or whatnot. And you can ask them about experiences they have or how they feel about their own careers. And then there's also explore summer jobs and internships. Like they said, it's good to gain real world experiences and see what working life is like, especially as high school students trying to transition into college life. And then you could also be a volunteer. Volunteering is really good for your resume as well. It's a way you can build your skills while also giving back to your community. So I would recommend building up those volunteer hours. And then finding your opportunities. I listed some tips for finding internships, research, and shadowing positions as you transition into college. For internships, through the U of A, they have you could apply through their Career Hub, Handshake, and then but you could also apply through internships to LinkedIn. It kind of just depends on what resources your college or university option offers. But I would also recommend utilizing club fairs. Uh, these colleges tend to have club fairs where people looking for new students to join their internships or potentially make a connection. They go to these club fairs and you can just talk to them, ask questions, and maybe have a conversation about sending your resume to them. But they're good for finding those career opportunities. Join clubs. They help with a lot with networking and then finding other people who have similar interests to you. And because of that, they could also help you find these opportunities so you can apply to them. And then a recommendation for searching for internships, you should start at least 6 months in advance from the ideal start date. Just gives you enough time to look through the internships and gather all your documents as well, and then prepare for interviews. Because for in college, if you're looking between like internships during the school year between fall and spring, typically they start to look during that, like if you're looking for an internship for a spring semester, they'll typically start looking near the end of fall semester. So just make sure you have you're organizing everything and you have everything collected. So it makes the application process a little easier. And then there's also research opportunities as an undergraduate student. There's two types of research typically. There's directed research under a faculty member, and there's also research through U of A programs. So the research through U of A is called CURES. It's kind of a course-based research opportunity where you can gain credit from it. But recommendations for finding research under a specific faculty member, you should find a faculty team member or a professor that does research that really interests you. So as you get into your classes, you might hear about your professor, what they're doing outside of class, and maybe that interests you. So go to their office hours, meet with them, talk with them. Even if you're looking for outside professors who do something that you may be wanting to participate in, you just email them and express your interest to work in their lab. You could ask to set up an in-person or a virtual research interview. So the U of A has some tips that Cadence will put in the chat where they have they call it cold emailing, where you can just they have like a template of the email format you can follow so you can apply to these opportunities. And then, but a big thing is that do your homework on what kind of research they do and what they've been doing, just so you don't go to the interview kind of unprepared and not knowing what you're exactly getting yourself into. And then there's also shadowing opportunities. U of A has a job shadowing program. That one you also apply through on Handshake. This one, there's specific deadlines you have to follow depending on what semester you're trying to apply for, because these often do occur during the semester. And then they have a limit on how many job shadowing opportunities you can do. It's a maximum of 5, but that's a good amount for when you are starting to figure out what you want to do for your career. And then for job shadowing, you just follow them around, ask questions, you get to see what the life is like of a person working there and just get more familiar with the job overall. And then for shadowing, you should build personal connections because shadowing is often very competitive. So depending, like I said, if you're trying to cold email someone, then you could be like one in like 100 students trying to get into that shadowing opportunity. So it's really helpful if you just make connections and then people can refer to you to a person to shadow. And then, like I said, the cold calling, emailing, if you're going into like medical practice or whatnot, you could connect with local hospitals or private practices. That way you have a lot more of a success rate when applying to these. And then because I said they're often very competitive, but and just be sure to be persistent and not to give up on these. Like maybe it'll take you like a few application cycles to get in, but eventually you will get in and you'll have fun while doing it. A big thing we talked about was networking. Like I said, building connections is really important aspect of college, outside of just coursework. So if this one, it can lead to referrals, references, or professional opportunities that you could potentially apply to. So typically you can network through professors, classmates, coworkers, or supervisors that you may have. There's also campus programs, student clubs and organizations. Greek life also has connects you with a few people, and professional social media groups as well. And then another group could be recruiters, UA alumni, employers, or family friends. These are all very good resources to utilize when networking. That's typically what people refer to when they say like, "Oh, you should go and network." It's just really about building connections and trying to get your resume and your job experience out there. So the U of A has a few clubs that provide these networking opportunities, like specific to different majors or career interests. But two I wanted to highlight here for like STEM focused opportunities would be the University of Arizona ACES chapter that Cadence mentioned earlier that she's a part of and that I am a part of as well. There's also SACNAS chapter at U of A. They help provide STEM career building opportunities. So they would host, besides like just being a club to join and socialize with other people who have similar STEM interests, they invite people to come and speak about their jobs. So recently they had like a little engineering panel where this engineering firm sent a few people that worked for them, native people that worked for them. And then they kind of just talked about their experience working there. And we had the opportunity to ask questions and figure out like if it was something we might go into. And then because of they were there, they also provided information about the internships they were opening up, which is something that maybe like the outside public isn't super known to them, but it kind of just allows you to get to know them on a more personal level and kind of have a bit more chance to get that internship. And then the picture over here is actually an ACES networking event they hosted. It was a night at the U of A where they invited these engineering firms and other like STEM programs and career opportunities to come and just talk to the ACES students. And it was a really good opportunity. They provided food as well. And I heard from other people that it was really helpful in finding out what they wanted to do. And then like the summer internships that these places had. But a few takeaways for this whole presentation. Career planning now is going to help you a lot in preparing for your future. It's always good to think about your future ahead of time, especially as you go into college where classes and responsibilities may overwhelm you. Not to stress you out, but it's just something you also want to consider so that once you graduate, you'll have like these opportunities lined up for you as you transition into a career life and then getting your jobs and whatnot. So, and then also building a strong resume will help you gain new job internships and research opportunities. Take the information we provided, the tips provided, and the resources, the links that were given to you to help you create a strong resume. Because if you have a stronger resume, that's going to help you get so many more opportunities than some other people. And like I said, like the biggest thing is just standing out amongst other applicants. And then you're gonna also want to set up a professional profile, as I said, to make you stand out. It just helps with establishing that sense of professionalism and show that you're really dedicated to what you're trying to get into. And then utilize tools. You're going to want to ask for support and build relationships. Like it's okay to ask for help and building a resume. It's okay to ask for help and finding these research opportunities, internships, because like I said, some people may have opportunities that other people may not know about, and it'll help you in that way, in that regard. But that is all we had for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming and joining us and listening to us talk about career building as a college student. Like I said, it's not anything to overwhelm you, but it's just good to think about for the future. And then, yeah, and we'll all, again, as always, we'll share the presentation so you have these tips and resources to use.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Just really want to thank the Native Soar presenters for coming in and again sharing your time and as well as your experience and your knowledge kind of on these topics with our students who again may not be at that point, but it's always great to have kind of that preview to these topics. And to our students who are on the line too, I hope that these students serve as role models to you of what you could also be as well in the future. That we hope in some way, shape, or form um, that as you get into your college career, or whether it's in your college setting or it's in your future career, that you'll think about how might I kind of give back to those in your community, whether that be youth or to the community in general. Like how can you kind of work to give back is something that we hope is modeled so wonderfully by the Native Soar team, but that hopefully you've seen by others that have come in, like from ACES during the summer, from Raytheon, from IBM. We're very fortunate to have great partners like Native Soar that come and give of their time. So we're just very grateful to the students for you all kind of being such great role models to our Native American Science and Engineering program participants. Thanks.
Thanks, Rudy. And I also want to reinforce some of the things that were talked about in the presentation. Um, Again, you all are ACES members. You signed up when you signed up for the NASEP program, and we were doing intake. So take advantage of that membership. It gives back in many ways, and there are a lot of different networking opportunities. There's a chapter here at the University of Arizona. They also started a like professional chapter in Phoenix. Um, so using, I think, the portal that they have to not only search for different scholarships, but opportunities that they discuss in terms of like internship opportunities or maybe shadowing opportunities could be helpful too as well. Um, but yeah, just that reminder that you all are ACES members, so take advantage of that. And from the summer, when you all worked on your personal statements and resumes, um, if you all haven't updated those things since the summer, now's a good time to think of all the things that you've done since the summer and how you can update those things um, to include the things that you've done. So the science fairs, the different things that you're doing in schools. Um, I'm sure that there's a lot of things within the past 46 weeks, I think I said, since the program started that um, can be updated. So it's a good time to think of those things and maybe also if you have the contact information from the folks that you worked with over the summer, maybe checking in to say like, this is my new draft and would you mind looking at it for um, to provide advice on how I can improve it? So all good content and linking things back together for things that you might have started on before. So Cadence said, for resume templates, I would recommend using the link to the Harvard template provided, which also has tips on what not and to include, or using Google Doc or Word templates. There's Canva ones too. That's interesting. I've used Canva for a lot of things and didn't realize that they have some resume templates. So, oh, and I just saw the questions in the chat regarding the location. It's in S107, I believe. It's that big, big room.
Awesome. Thanks, Carol, for sharing that. And thank you all again for allowing us to be in your space and join you all. I know our mentors, they really took a lot of care into the suggestions that Carol had shared with us from your group, the feedback you'd offered. So I just wanted to thank you all for giving our students ideas to help you with your endeavors. And we really appreciate our partnership, and we just love to see Carol and Rudy all the time. We saw them earlier today at an event, but we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday for your showcase and your celebration, and we can't wait to see you in person instead of here in this online platform. So we look forward to seeing you, and we'll be able to meet you all. If you have any other questions, feel free to let us know. Reach out to us. Our contact information's here, but also we'll see you on Saturday. So feel free to ask us anything you'd like, or even if it's just meeting you. It's good to have connections and network with one another. And just wanted to say congrats on completing this program. NASEP is an awesome program, and I'm really proud of you all for taking the initiative to participate and, build your skills. This is just a first step for your next journey, and we're happy that we're able to meet you through this platform.
Thanks, Maria. Give it up for the group in the chat. Thank our presenters. I think they're going to go into their breakout room to discuss. But thank you all for being here. And good luck with the rest of the semester too. I know that that's coming up for you all. So we're very appreciative that you're here. All right, I'm gonna switch gears to our next presentation. Thank you again. All right, so how about that native SOAR group? So great presentation for our last workshop. So we're getting ready to come to a close. This is a reminder for what was discussed in our last workshop. So they covered applying to college, including different considerations for the different types of colleges. So I like how they included community and tribal colleges and then had a question about it in the Jeopardy. So it built off of the different workshops they did previously, including the different summer programs that are available for your summer playlist to learn different things, to gain some more skills that you could put on your resume, and also the icebreaker where we had to budget and figure out how you were going to use your $100 for school. So some people had roommates, some people chose to have a chiller free time social life. Some people said they were like, I don't want a job. So they just excluded that from their budget entirely. So if you didn't get a chance to see that workshop, this is the YouTube link for it here. And so our next thing here for the presentation, we have the rest of the science fairs finished, but if you're looking for a time to present your project, if you have a project, these are the times that were available. So Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or from 1 to 3. I did have someone take the 4 to 5 p.m. spot on Thursday. If these don't work for you for some reason, then let me know and we can work out a different time. If there's a time after the closing that you want to do your presentation, we're still open to that as well. Just let me know and we'll work with you. But these are times this week that are available. So you can use this link here to schedule if you'd like, or you can send me an email. Again, reminder, our closing banquet is this Saturday. We sent the number for catering already, so if you need to make changes or if you need to update things, this is the link to RSVP, or you can just send me an email so that I'm aware. I did send an email regarding the location and parking recommendations yesterday, so take a look at your inbox. It would be under the email NASEP closing banquet and parking information, or NASEP 2025 to 2026 closing banquet information is the subject of the email. I'll put it in the chat so that you can search for it in your inbox. And if for some reason you're not finding it in there, then let me know and I can resend it to you. So that has the information there. And I know that most of our previous workshops have said continue working on your project. At this point, it's your choice if you want to continue working on the project. We did have a student who presented this past week, and they thought that they would be interested in submitting their project for next year in the science fair. So that's always a possibility. You can start working on it this summer when maybe there's a little bit more free time, and we're here to continue to provide support even past the program if that's something that you're interested in, because I know that during the school year it can be a little bit hectic, but science in the summer sounds fun. So if that's something that you want to do, then we support it. And this guide here is really helpful in helping folks get started. We are still accepting spots for or applications for our upcoming cohort. So if you know of anyone that would be interested, please have them apply. And this is our summary from our workshop. So we had our wonderful presentation from the Native SOAR team. We summarized our last meeting. We did a project check-in and did our announcements. So with that, if there's any questions, we can meet in breakout rooms or you can ask them here. And so as we're closing out the cohort year, if there's something that you need, because we'll likely be starting a new Slack channel with the new group of students who we're onboarding for the summer. So if you're needing a letter of recommendation or information about college, you want to present, just different things related to different things in your life past the program, you can still use Slack, but in case I don't see the Slack message, I would recommend following up with an email to me. This is my email, ccnez@arizona.edu, or giving me a call at this phone number. So with that, if there's no questions, we look forward to seeing you this Saturday, either in person or online. And I hope you all have a good evening.